Hi everyone, it's Jess, aka Colouring Bumblebee, and I'm back today with another video for you. Today is another part of my full colouring book collection tour video series. Today I am focusing on all of my Asian books. I do have quite a few in my collection. Books from Amazon Japan and Aladdin, so the Korean colouring books, are some of my absolute favourites in my collection, with some of my favourite artists, and I really do cherish these books. As well, the books themselves are pretty cheap on their own, but the shipping to get them over here is definitely a treat for once in a while. I do people often ask me where I get my books from. So all of the Japanese books I get from Amazon Japan. All the Korean books I get from aladdin.kr, which is a Korean website. I found them relatively easy to use, and you can get them on Etsy, but I think it's more expensive because you're paying shipping per book, so it does add up, whereas you kind of group the shipping. I tend to get at least 3 books, if not a few more, if I'm ordering from overseas. But let's move this to the side and we will get into the first artist, which is potentially my favourite artist in my entire collection, and that is Eerie. I just love Eerie's books. Starting with Romantic Country, this is the first tale. There are 3 of them. You can still find this one pretty easily on Amazon Japan and often UK/US. I've done this page. I really challenged myself to do a fun background there. I actually use polychromos pencils on here. Now, polychromos pencils do not work very well in Amazon Japan books, or a lot of books from Japan. But I love my polychromos so much that I do tend to use them quite often. I just like the colour range. You can't layer with them. It kind of chews up at the paper. It kind of resists, and but you can work with them if you know how to, and get some okay results. I found that doing a base of abraduras or Inktense is a lot better for layering polychromos on top. So I've done this Halloween page again with polychromos. I couldn't decide what I wanted to do for a background, so I didn't. This bit of text was throwing me off because I was like, oh, a nice circle would look good, but then there was nothing that you could do to encapsulate the circle with the text. It was a bit frustrating with that. Yeah, I was doing this as a project book for a while, so I have coloured a fair few pages. Probably my favourite Eerie page I've ever coloured. I love this page. I use polychromos again, a really different colour palette for me actually. I don't even know what combo of pencils I would have used to make those blues, but it was definitely polychromos. Yeah, I just love how it looked, and some touches of gold signo on the book spines. I tend to like to do that. Oh, another one of my favourites. I always love the flower shop page spreads in Eerie's books. It's character Manon and her flower stall. I just used all my favourite colours, pinks and purples, and a little touch of yellow and some terracotta pots. Love that one. Got this as a whip. It's been a whip for probably 2 years now. I think at some point last year I coloured in these bottles and the onions. Actually, I think all of these things in the baskets. I think before last year all I'd done was the brown. So yeah, one day I'll finish this. I don't know when, but one day. I don't hate how it's looking. I like it. I just lost inspiration for it. Oh, I love this book. I've done this double page spread of chapter 3. I used a lot of Inktense on this. In fact, Inktense to base everything. And then I shaded over the top with polychromos to smooth things out, especially on the trees, but things like the water and the grass I just left as the Inktense base because I like that kind of watercolory effect. And then I think I used a bit of soft pastel in the background because it's very, very, very faint. I've done this one, the cute little afternoon tea page. I used, I think, Black Widows for this one, and then Inktense for the background, and I remember when I finished it, I wasn't too happy. I thought it looked a bit splotchy, but I kind of like the splotchy effect. Gives it that kind of like mottled look. I think it's quite nice and effective. Nice and pretty and pastel. Yeah, lots of pages in here that I absolutely adore and still want to colour. Then I've got this one of the bright pink tea room and the more muted seafood restaurant. I knew as soon as I saw this I wanted it to be pink, so that's where I started. And then I kind of combined this slate grey with this orangey wood tone. I think this was Black Widow's. That one turned out not too bad. And then I've done this one. I think this might have been the last page I did, which was August 2024, so I need to come back to this book. In fact, one of my goals for this year is to colour a page in at least one page, if not more, in every single one of my Asian colouring books. So hopefully you'll see some more pages coloured in these books throughout the year. But for this one I used a lot of Inktense again. I played with the watercoloriness of it and the fact that it looked patchy, and used that to my advantage for the grass, and the same for the water. Added a bit of grass texture over the top. I think it was with polychromos. And then Inktense for the sky as well, and then just did the castle with pencils. I do love this sheep, it's cute. I believe that is everything in this book so far. I think I've done what, like 8 or 9 pages, something like that. That's Romantic Country, the first tale by Eerie. Then I have Romantic Country, the second tale. This was my favourite one for a while, and then I got the third one, and that's my favourite now. But this one is the English edition. People say they hate the English edition paper, but I don't mind it. It's smoother than the Amazon Japan one. I've done this pancake party spread. I actually think the polychromos work a little bit better in this book than they do in the in the Japanese ones. So I kind of like it actually. This was one heck of an undertaking, and if I did it again now I probably wouldn't use pencil for the background. I did this quite a lot. Sort of in 2024 I would just use a layer of pencil, lightly colour it, and then have some outlines for clouds, and that was a background. And I think if I did it nowadays I'd use water mediums, soft pastel, something different. I went kind of classic red, blue, white, yellow. It looks quite patriotic, especially this little bit of bunting there. That was unintentionally, looks like the American flag. I was going more kind of British inspired because, you know, red, white, royal blue is British colours as well. But yeah, that one's done. It's nice to have a double page spread. This one is extremely detailed, so it is a little bit daunting at times. I've got this as a whip. I started this a couple of years ago. I used Inktense for the background. Really like how the background looks. And then I've started using, I think, a combination of Black Widows and polychromos for the buildings. I've done some creamy ivory ones, I've done some brown ones, I've done a black roof, and the idea was to kind of spread the colours out between the different things and then have some pops of colour with the stuff in the shops. But yeah, I need an excuse to come back to this, and I just haven't yet. I think it's because I feel like it's quite Halloween inspired. That's kind of prevented me from coming back to it any other time of year. I don't think I actually coloured a single romantic... No, I coloured one Romantic Country page, I lie. One for the whole of 2025, which that's a crying shame. I've done this birdhouse page, again using pencil, a light layer on the background. It's actually kind of yellowed slightly, I think, sort of transfer from the leaf colour over here. It looks a bit murky. But I decided to add a bunch of extra leaves because I thought it looked quite sparse, the tree, so I added my own. I'm pretty sure this was all polychromos. Went quite limited with the colour palette. It's kind of light pink, red, it's kind of like a corally red actually, blue and yellow. I actually quite like the colour scheme for it. It's just the background, I think it could look better. I've done this one of the flower field. This one turned out really fun. I tried to make it look like it was a gradient of flowers, and yeah, I used like orange, a lighter orange, a yellow orange, and then yellow and a lighter yellow, but all the yellows look too similar to each other. I should have committed more and maybe started with red. But I started my gradient with the pink here, so I should have gone like pink, red, orange, yellow, light yellow. And then that would have looked, I don't know, more distinct. But I loved colouring this page. It's a really cute one. Pretty sure I used Arteza for that. In fact, I think that was my first one I did in this book. And do I have anything else? I don't know, I don't think so. Nope, I don't. That is everything from this book. Romantic Country, the second tale by Eerie. Then I have Romantic Country, the third tale. This is my favourite of the 3 Romantic Countries. I think it just has the perfect mix of detail of the pages. Like, there's plenty going on, but the details aren't too tiny and intricate that they're overwhelming. So yeah, I really do love this one, but I've only coloured I think 3 pages in here. I love all these fairy ones at the back there. I've done this nice spring cottage. I used Prismacolors on this one. Prismacolors do work very well on Eerie's paper. It's probably one of the better pencils to layer on Eerie's paper. Yeah, it's got a nice smooth finish here actually. As often I don't like the finish of Prismacolors, but I prefer the finish of a polychromo, but in this book it looks really well. It doesn't look too like, I find it can look kind of sticky in a weird way. I can't really explain it, but yeah, I think that one turned out nice. I tried to use a different green. It's very bright, but it's fun. I think it works better down here than it does on the trees up there, but that's fine. Did I have the pencil saved for that? I did at one point. I did at one point have a piece of paper, but it must have gone now because I was like, oh, I could do this for when my sister has her baby. It'd be kind of cool to commemorate that. A little baby carriage. This was the page I did last year. I loved colouring this. It was so much fun. I used Albrecht Dürer's, and then the fruit was coloured all with polychromos, I'm pretty sure. Or was it all Albrecht Dürer's? Could be. I can't remember. It was only in August, but I can't remember. But I've got my colours saved here on a post-it note, so I can't lose that. Because I thought it'd be nice to bring them across to this page eventually. Yeah, really love that one. I like colouring fruits. Lots of fun. And then I've got one more, which is the book study. Save the piece of paper there. This one is definitely got the more kind of waxy finish compared to the cottage page, because this was Prismacolors as well. I was inspired for this colour palette by this magenta chair that I found a picture online, and based the rest of the colour palette off of that. I kind of picked some nice jewel tones to match with them, the purple, the green, the teal and the blue. Really love this page. It's very bright and bold, but I absolutely adore it. And I'd love to cozy up in that room. I do have quite a bit of transfer on the next page though. Yeah, I do have this one planned. It's for the Travels with Eerie hashtag, hosted by my friend Shannon at Bama Beams on Instagram. So this is for January/February, so I think it'll be nice to get that one done. I was tempted to get this done at the start of January, but I'm all Christmased out. I don't want to do it anymore. So I think I'll do this February and then come back to this in December potentially. Yeah, looking forward to hopefully getting a couple more pages done in this book this year. Could do with a Eerie focus month. So that is A Romantic Country, the third tale. And then my most coloured Eerie book is Eerie's World Fairy Tales, and this is because it is a project book. It started off with just Megan at Meg's Colouring Corner and I, and now a whole bunch of other ladies have joined us. Jana, I've got them listed at the front so I don't have to embarrass myself. Colour and Create with Jana, Veronica Dunn 66, Lisa at My Colouring Nook, and Kathy at Colour V94. So we have done a fair few. We've done the Enormous Turnip, the kind of like picnic scene. I love how bright and vibrant this is. This was using Arteza Expert pencils. And you can see my progression of how I coloured from this page compared to this one, where I also use the Arteza Expert pencils. In fact, this was the first one we did as a project. This was in March 2023, July 2024. So yeah, a lot more kind of solid and burnish the colours. I went crazy with the glitter gel pen on the Emerald City. Definitely would not do that again today. I probably would have just accented the bricks with a bit of glitter gel pen, but it's certainly fun. It's certainly fun. Then we've got this one we did for Easter in 2024. Went for a nice pastel colour scheme. I think that's really cute. I think I used Prismacolors on that one. This one was also Arteza. So this was almost exactly a year apart from that one. So that's a really good comparison. Same exact pencils, Arteza Expert, year apart. Yeah, a lot more finished and refined on that page. Yeah, I did not enjoy colouring this. I really struggled with the colour palette, but it's a page done, and that's always good. Done Aladdin's Lamps. I used Prismacolors on this one, and I actually used a blender pencil, which I never do because it was not blending nicely for these backgrounds. So I used it for that, and then black acrylic paint for the background, and lots of the Gansey Tambi watercolour around the borders. We've done this one of Jasmine. I really like the colour scheme of this one, and I like how I made the sleeves and the veil look sheer with just outlining it with a gel pen and doing loads of little dots on top. It's got lots of metallic accents on this page, which is fun. I like using my metallics in this book. This is technically not a page I coloured in 2025, so I'll skip over that. But I did this one. This one, I remember I just got my Antec metallic watercolour set, and I just went to town with them on the shells on the outside, just using various different colours. Used them on Ariel for her outfit. If I were to do it now, I probably would have just coloured them and then done some metallic accents on top, but I do like how the border is nice and shiny. It's kind of fun. Then I've got Thumbelina. I've finished this one. I started this one back when it was our chosen page and never finished it. Do want to get that finished this year so that I'm not behind on anything. Then we have the Hansel and Gretel house. It was not my favourite page in the book, and it took me a while to colour. In fact, it was sat as a whip for over a year. I'd just done all the trees and that was it, so I had the gingerbread house in the background to do. It's very wax bloomy, this page, because I was using Prismacolors, and I always find the dark colours bloom a lot more. This is one of my favourites, Snow White and Rose Red. I always love a Snow White and Rose Red page. Don't know what it is. I just think they always turn out nicely. And that was using Prismacolors. This one was also Prismacolors. And between those two, but this is probably my favourite actually. I just love the colour palette of it. And I've got my colours saved over here. Oh, this was actually a combo, was it? There's Ladybug and Fire. Those are Black Widow pencils. Or maybe I was going to use Black Widows and then I decided to just use Prismacolors because I'm pretty sure it's all Prismas. But yeah, this was one that Megan did and I need to catch up with as well. We have Rapunzel, another one of the earlier ones. This was all Arteza Expert. And I added in the lanterns, inspired by someone else's coloured version online, and tried to make her look like Rapunzel from Tangled. So that was pretty cute. Done both of the Sleeping Beauty ones. These were both using Black Widow pencils. Really like how this wooden bed frame turned out, that's nice. And I've got blue metallic watercolour on top of the turrets there. I started this, I think, right after Meg and I made this a project book. I just thought I'd chip away at it. I really enjoy colouring wallpapers like this. I just use Tombow dual brush pens for the wallpaper, a bit of gold Signo down the centres, and then I've mapped out my colours, started colouring a few of them, and I know I was using Arteza and Brute Vena macarons for this, so one day I'll come back and finish it. I'll probably go over some of the pencil work I've done because I haven't fully burnished it. I didn't always burnish my pencils back then, but I do now. So yeah, just refine those a bit. But yeah, when this page eventually gets picked for the full book, for our project book, then I will be, I don't know, a third of the way through, it looks like I've done here, and I've done a lot of the thinking work already. And then we have the 2 Cinderella pages. These were coloured pretty much a year apart. This one I did first, and then I did that one, and I think this was Arteza and Brutfina macarons for both of those, and some of the gold metallic paint around the outside. I think that was the Antec metallic, because I didn't have my Gansey Tambi yet when I coloured that one, and then I used the same over here. And then the last ones are the introduction pages, which we did recently. I was inspired by the colours on the front cover. I put a picture into ChatGPT and it came back with this colour palette that I put on the page. I wish I did something different for the background, but it's done now, and at least I tried, hey? At least I tried. It's not terrible, I just wish I didn't do the zigzaggy pattern, but that's fine. So that is everything coloured in Eerie's World Fairy Tales colouring book. Then I have the World Heritage colouring book, which goes through different countries around the world. I've not done too much in here. In fact, I think I've just done one. I think this is the only one. I love this page, and I remember colouring this whilst watching the 2024 Olympics, so it holds some fun memories for me. I just went crazy with lots of yellows and oranges. Looks nice and tropical. Lots of gold signo. Accents on the lanterns and on her dress. That turned out really fun. I loved it. Love that page. But yeah, I think that's it. I don't think I've done anything else. If I have, it's going to surprise me. It really is. This is probably my least favourite of all of them. Watch my rank and rate if you are curious. I don't know what it is, just not every page really shouts to me. Don't get me wrong, I love the book. I wouldn't have it if I didn't love it. But yeah, you've got to have a least favourite, and that's fine. Yep, that's all I've done so far in the World Heritage colouring book by Eerie. Then I have World Legends by Eerie, and this had been sitting untouched for the longest time on my bookshelf. In fact, it was the book I'd had for the longest time that still was uncoloured. And I finally finished my first page with the epic Greek gods and goddesses double page spread. Used Albrecht Dürer's and polychromos on top to shade, and a bit of gold signo for the lightning bolts and Hera's jewellery there. And yeah, I'm really happy with this page. Love how it turned out. It was definitely a mission to get that done though. I do have a couple of whips in here, and I do really love this book. The Legends theme is really fun. Got a nice zodiac page there. So I started this one, which is the flower goddess Flora. When I saw her, I thought she looks like Isabella from Encanto, so I coloured her with that colour palette inspired by it. And then I just had no idea how to approach the background, so I just left it. And yes, just still haven't felt inspired to come back, and that's okay. But I've got all my colours saved there, so I know what to do when I come back to it, what pencils to pull out. But that was Arteza Expert there. Yeah, I love all these fairy pages here. They're really lovely. Got some nice Halloween-y themed ones in here as well. And then I've also started this one, which was inspired by Eloise from Bridgerton, and I kind of used that kind of colour scheme to inspire it. But I found a colour palette in one of the colour palette books, so I've got that noted down here, based with Albrecht Dürer's. And I've started doing some shading with polychromos with the grassy elements, and I think I'm gonna try and colour some more of this when the season 4 comes out. It could be fun to colour this alongside it. But that is everything so far in the World Legends colouring book by Eerie. Then I have Eerie's World Literature colouring book. I think this one I've only got one done as well. But yeah, I haven't been showing Eerie enough love recently. I know Erica is focusing on Eerie for the first 2 months of the year. Definitely need to join her. It's just finding the time. These pages do take a lot of time, and I want to take my time with them and make them look nice because I like them so much. These are all kind of literature stories. It's all your like classic stories. So here's the only one I've done, which is a very different colouring style for me as well. This was just using water-based markers like Crayola Super Tips and Tombows, using pointillism, so loads and loads of tiny dots, which was a choice, and I did it, and I haven't done it since. I don't hate it, but I mean the paper took the markers beautifully, and I did quite a bit of blending, especially in the sky there. But yeah, it's okay. I do need to come back and do another page in this book in my usual colouring style. That's World Literature by Eerie. And I have the Magical World of Lauramia colouring book by Eerie. And again, just one page coloured in this one. But I haven't had this one for too long, so I do have a flip through where I have translated all of these descriptions in the back of the book. So if you're interested, that's on the channel. I have done this page, mainly coloured with Inktense and a little bit of polychrome shading on the top. Inktense work beautifully in this book. And I really like the colour palette I went for. It's nice and kind of rich and vibrant. I noted down the colours here and put them at the back here so I can keep her the same throughout. I quite like this reddish gingery hair with the pink dress. I think that's nice. And I want to keep that consistent throughout because it is a named character. She's called Mary Abbott. Goes through the magical land of Lauramia. I wonder if Eerie's going to do another book in this style, in this land, because each double page spread is themed to something different. Yeah, I can't wait to do another page in here. Definitely need to do a full one because I did definitely pick the easiest one at the back there, the less detailed one. So that is the Magical Land of Lauramia colouring book by Eerie. Then I also have the two postcard books by Eriy. This is the 12 Months in Dreamland postcard set, where each postcard, you've got 2 of them, and you've got 4 per season. So that was the winter section. This is autumn. So it's nice that you've got them representing each of the seasons. Then we have summer. These summer ones are lovely. And then we move into spring. Some of these are kind of lunar cakes. There's a lunar cake shop in the Lauramia colouring book, which is interesting. So that is the 12 Months in Dreamland postcard set. Then I also have the 16 people in the Dream Room postcard set. This one's my favourite because each set of 2 are different. Like they relate to each other, like you've got the dragon on both of those, but they are of different scenes, which I much prefer, having more unique images rather than the same one repeated. I'm hoping to colour this one in the winter season, as it was randomised for me. Some really cute pages in here, and nice little easy wins as well. So that's the 16 people in the Dream Room postcard set, and all my books by Eerie. Keeping in the postcard theme, I've got the Waltzes for the Seasons postcard set by Tokimeku. I believe you can only get this on Amazon Japan / Etsy. I've never seen it on UK Amazon or anything like that. And it is cute little postcards by Tokimeku. Again, goes through the seasons, which I absolutely love when artists do that. So you've got some nice Christmassy ones towards the back there. Nice wintry ones, even a couple of Halloween pages, and some of them are A6, so half the size, and some of them are A5, so the full size. Oh, just skipped over the only page I've done. So I've done this one of the cute little jack-o'-lantern with the little mice. Went for a very classic Halloween colour scheme for this page. A black acrylic paint for the background, and added in a few stars with a white paint pen. So that one was nice and fun and relatively quick and easy to do. Yeah, definitely need to come back and do some more in here. Oh, I love that kitty in the boot. Probably my favourite page in there. So cute. But yeah, again, it's nice having those little easy wins of Kanoko's books. So that's Waltz's For the Seasons postcards by Tokimeku. Then the other one that I have in my Asian collection is Leon's Journey, because the other two Tokimeku books I have are English editions. So that was in my Square Books Part 2 collection video, if you haven't seen that already. This is my absolute favourite Tokimeku book. I am just in love with it. So I have coloured this Christmas theme page. Absolutely loved colouring this. I used polychromos for the entire page and then some super golden markers to accent the decorations on these kind of beady bits and around the border there. So I love doing that one. And then I have done one in the autumn section as well. Here it is. The pumpkin cart, one of my absolute favourite pages in the book. And this is one of the pages she showed off on her Instagram to denote when she'd sort of got, I think it was like 20% through or 50% through. She was keeping us updated of how much she had coloured in the book. But yeah, I really love colouring this, and I enjoyed using all these different colours for the pumpkins because I tend to just go orange and it's quite boring, so I went for orange, yellow and green on this page. Just polychromos. I love my polychromos. They don't work the best on this paper, but you can still get some really nice results, and I just love the colour range. I will probably stick to polychromos mainly in this book, maybe some Albert Durers as well. Yeah, I haven't done anything in the spring or summer sections, so I will make sure to prioritise that this year. Yeah, it's just such an incredible book, such great variety of pages. You've got full page scenes, you've got little circular ones, ones in little boxes for those quick, easy colouring session wins. Yeah, absolutely love it. And you've got these characters going throughout and a nice story. So here are the characters that you find in the book. We've got Leon, the cat, and Lily is the town cat that comes to stay in the country, and Leon is besotted with her. She's got a little mouse called Marie, and then the dogs Latte and Mocha come with her, and the owl Baron. They all get taken back home, and Leon goes on his journey to find Lily again. So yeah, lots of pages to keep me occupied from Leon's Journey by Tokimeku. Then next I've got Neelko's Story of Precious Cats colouring book. I was quite late to the party with this one. I only got it last year or the end of the year before, but I only coloured my first page in it last year and quickly became obsessed because, oh my gosh, these cats are adorable. And I am part of a group hosted by Amy at Amy Ward Art. I was going to colour this for Christmas. Got out a page to swatch my pencils. Even labelled it with the title of the page, and I never even came up with a colour palette. I just did not have the time for that. But this one goes through the seasons. Again, I love it. And you've got lots of Alice in Wonderland pages in this book, which I absolutely love as well. They're really cute. Yeah, it's kind of a little family of cats, different things they get up to. So I've done this Halloween double page spread, used Albert Durers to base, and was it Albert Durers to shade or polychromos? One of the two. I can change it up, but yeah, and just kind of went to town with that Halloween colour scheme. Added some black glitter gel pen accents on some of these sweets here, clear glaze pen on their eyes. I'm going to do that throughout the book because I really like how that looks, and the kind of touchy-feely smooth surfaces. So I've done that one. I haven't done too many. I joined the group late and didn't catch up, sort of thing. But this was the first page I did. I actually coloured this on one of my first live streams. I think I'm in my second week of live streams or something like that. And this was all Albert Durers and polychromos for the cats. And I think I also used some Black Widows for the cats for these like lighter browns. And again, glaze pen on the eyes. They turned out so cute. I love them. Playing in the little tub of water. So cute. I just love the watercolour effect you get with the Albert Durers. Yeah, so far that is actually all I've done. So I haven't done very many other pages that have actually been picked. I have started the character profile page. I coloured the most important thing, which was their fur, and then I haven't done their outfits. I really struggle colouring clothing and making it look right and like natural, so I'm just avoiding it. I will get to it eventually, but I've got my colours saved on a piece of paper here so that I can refer to that when I find the characters in the book. So that is Neelko's Story of Precious Cats. Then I have the Forest Girls colouring book by April. I believe this is the first one. Not entirely sure. There's been 4 different books by April, and I absolutely adore this artist and her art style, always have, but was quite reluctant to get the book. And I think this book was sat untouched for about a year before I finally coloured in it, because these images are stunning but very intimidating to colour. Here is the page that I have done. I love how it turned out. I used polychromos and black widows for this page. Tried to match the colour palette best I could there, but I didn't bother with the background because I didn't want to. But yeah, I think this turned out nice and cute. Really love this little reindeer dog, he's adorable. Yeah, that's all I've done so far in this book. I'm hoping to colour another page soon for January or February for winter. Got randomised for winter. Yeah, you've got different sections in the book. Some interior, some exterior, some kind of more fantastical pages. But I decided to be good with April and just get one book and not get another one until I had coloured a decent amount in this. And I'm going to try my best to do that with artists more often now. Like, get one book, get your favourite, and then colour in that a bunch. And if you really enjoy it, then get another one. Because there's no sense having 4 books with 1 page coloured in each, in my opinion, for me. Because, well, you do what you like. Collecting is definitely part of the hobby, but for April, and also for another artist that I got later on, decided to just pick one and give that book a lot of love. So that's April's Forest Girl colouring book. Then I have Domming's World Fairy Tales. This one is a very unique art style and unlike anything I have in my collection. It's very dark line art, very kind of bold and graphic. The colour palettes are really cool and it plays a lot with layering colours and blending them together. I do really enjoy colouring in this book. I've done 2 pages so far. In fact, one of them was finished at the start of January, so not at 2025. I'm trying to film these all at the start of 2026 before I colour in them for this year. So, sneak peek at the Nutcracker, which I will pay more attention to at this for my complete book collection next year. Yeah, got all your classic fairy tales in here with these really unique colour palettes. Here's the first one I did, the Wizard of Oz page. I used Artex pencils because I found they had some of the best colour matches. And yeah, really unique colour palettes. The way I tackle these is go section by section. I think I start with Dorothy, then did the shoes, then do some of the background, do the monkeys, like go bit by bit, and then slowly but surely the page comes together, and it's really nice seeing it come to life and playing around with the different shading and whatnot. I really love how these ruby slippers, well, they're not ruby, silver slippers turned out. I like how they've got the red lining to kind of nod to the rubiness. But yeah, that is the Domming's World Fairy Tales colouring book by Domming. Then I have 2 books by Miki Takai. This is Colours Make You Happy. I call it volume 2 because it's the second one that was released. It's the one with the blue cover, and in this one you have at the back all of these zodiac themed images to each of the zodiac signs, which I really love. I want to get a few of them coloured this year. And then the rest of the book is fairy tales themed. So this is the 1 page I've done so far. Coloured this on a live stream using black widows, quite a bit of Language gel pens to put some grass texture, outline the lacy border, and some Spectrum Noir clear glitter pen on the Emerald City Castle so it's shiny. Yeah, really love how that turned out, nice and bright and colourful. Yeah, plenty more fairy tales to colour in here. Would be good to colour some to go with Geordie Colours Colour the Fairy Tales hashtag. There's a few that have already been used, but still plenty more. January is Rapunzel there. So that is Colours Make You Happy Volume 2. Then I have Colours Make You Happy Volume 3 by Miki Takai. And this one has a bunch of the Chinese animal zodiac signs at the back, and they are super cute. In fact, it's the only page I've done so far. It's the rabbit here. I used Prismacolors for all the pencil work, and the background's actually a Tombow dual brush pen. It did do something weird though. I don't know if it picks up on camera, but it's slightly dark around the edges. It's like there's a coating around the edge, and it did slightly bleed through on the other side, so I'll have to cover that up. But it applied pretty smoothly in the middle. It was just the edges that was weird. But yeah, I really like how bold and vibrant, well, not bold and vibrant, bold the cherries are, and then like nice and pastel the flowers. It's really cute. But so far, that is all I've done in this book. Definitely need to come back to these two again. That's why I've got the goal to colour in all my Asian books for this year, because I have neglected so many of them for so long, or I've only got one page coloured in each. I need to get some more done in there. But that is Colours Make You Happy Volume 3, the one with the yellow cover. So I realised after I finished recording, I forgot to include this amazing book. And, well, I didn't forget. I had it stacked up in my big stack of books and it fell off and fell on the floor. So I realised this after I finished filming. But this is the Greek mythology colouring book by Yoshimi Sekiguchi. Yes, that is right. And this one, as the title suggests, is filled with all sorts of Greek mythology pages. The section at the back here is all zodiac signs, which are really cool. And I didn't include this in my zodiac collection video. I kind of forgot about this one. But you've got some stunning pages with these stained glass backgrounds, which are really fun. And they've each got a story associated with them, which I have gone through and translated and printed that out on a document. Then this middle section is all different myths, Greek myths. So you've got some stunning double pages there. This is the one page I have done. This is Apollo and Daphne, and I challenged myself to use just the Castle Art Harmonious pencils for this page. And they didn't perform the best, but I do like the finished result in the end. I wish I had some more brown tones, because all they have are these like very dark, rich browns, and I wanted something a little bit lighter, but they didn't have that. So I just had to go with the flow, and then I added just a bit of the Ganzo Tambi gold metallic watercolour for the sun in the background there. I think that was a nice finishing touch for this page. Yeah, Castle Art pencils didn't work the best in here. I like to use the Harmonious pencils to supplement my other pencil sets, because they have some really nice light muted tones. Yeah, looking forward to getting some more coloured in this book this year. I love that double page spread. It's the image off the cover there. Some really beautiful ones. And I feel like water mediums will work okay in here. And the section at the front, you've got each of the 12 Greek gods and goddesses, which I do feel quite familiar with since doing the Gods double page spread from Eerie's World Legends book. So that is the Greek mythology colouring book by by Yoshimi Sekiguchi. Next up, I've got the Secret Invitation colouring book by Natsuki. I believe it's by Natsuki. I think it's inside one of the flap covers. It says Natsuki here, and I'm assuming that's the illustrator for it. But this is a project book with Jana, Colour Create with Jana, and Dana Adabla D. We're going through in order, and we have just finished story 1. So we did this pretty much all in 2025. I kept to a limited colour palette for this story, using Inktense to base and Artex pencils to go over the top and do some shading. So you can see here, I use the same colours. This one's got a lot of browns as we're inside. And then we go to a nice, bright, colourful outdoor scene as they eat their picnic. And then this was the last one I managed to get done in 2025. I finished this just yesterday. So this is a bit of a cheat, but yeah, managed to finish story 1. So we are moving on to story 2 for 2026. So this will be January, February. March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. No, I've counted them wrong because I'm pretty sure there's 6 double pages because I counted before. So that's January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. There we go. I was like, I don't know how I messed up counting the months there. And I believe there's 8 stories in total. So this is story 3 with the little chipmunks. Really do like that one. Look at that page. Love it. We move into story 4 with the cat. And she meets a little puppy on the way. And then story 5 has a whole bunch of different animals like elephants, some kind of safari animals. And then story 6 I think has a bunch of different ones as well. It's kind of the town scene. Then story 7, they're coming together for the party, painting the sign. And story 8 is the party itself. So all the characters that you meet along the journey in the book come back in this final story there. So yeah, I think this book is going to look so cool all coloured in. But yeah, it's going to be a slow process as we're doing a double page every other month. If we were doing a double page every month, I would get so burnt out. Get burnt out enough doing this, but it's nice the fact that you can put it away for a month and you don't have to start colouring it and then pick it up the next month kind of thing. That's Secret Invitation by Natsuki. Then I have Looking for the Bell of Happiness, also by Natsuki. This one is untouched for the moment. It did get randomised in my winter randomizer, so I am hoping to colour a page in this one soon. This one has a cat as the main character on its journey to look for the Bell of Happiness, which it finds at the end. And it's in all different scenes and settings throughout the book. So beautiful. I think I want to try and use watercolours in this book potentially and go for that really nice watercolour-y effect, because this paper takes water mediums so well. Like using the Inktense as a base in the Secret Invitation book, it's just perfect. So that is the Looking for the Bell of Happiness colouring book by Natsuki. Then I have the, oh, I always forget the name of this, Cats and Their Cute Friends on a Flower Path colouring book by Sora. This is, oh, I love this book. It's very spring summery, and I think I got it towards the end of summer, so I just haven't had the inspiration to come colouring this. But look at these cats, look at these flowers. And it's not just cats in this book, you do have other animals that they meet along the way, although none so far, like little duckies. I think we've got a red panda somewhere in here, little dogs, birds. Yeah, so there's, yeah, look at that red panda. Stunning, stunning, stunning. And again, I think watercolours will do really well in this book. Give it that kind of soft, painterly, kind of storybook look. I think that will look amazing in here. The little owl. Yeah, lots of flowers, lots of animals. So if that's not your thing, this book ain't for you, but I absolutely adore it. Yeah, still untouched. That is the, oh, I still forget, Cats and Their Cute Friends on a Flower Path colouring book by Sora. Next I've got the Flowers and Cute Girls colouring book by Dada Cat. And I believe this is a Chinese book and the only Chinese book I have in my collection. I saw this and fell in love with it. Had to find it, and actually found it on Temu, I think. And I recently saw that there's another one of these, and oh, I like the look of that because it's fairy tale princesses. This one is all girls themed to different flowers. There's some lovely, lovely portraits in here. So I'm looking forward to getting these done. At the front of the book, you've got these chibi flower girls, and those are what I'm colouring to start with. It's been a long process, but I'm just colouring a little chibi randomly at a time. Literally just getting a random number generator and colouring one of these. It takes about 20-30 minutes sort of at the end of the evening to colour one of those, inspired by the colours that you have here. So like you've got cornflower, there she is, and then clover there, and what else have we got? The garden pansy and geranium. Where's freesia? Freesia is here, and then dandelion, that one there. So it's fun playing around with these different colours, hairs and eyes and things like that. Using colours that I wouldn't necessarily pick myself, but it's been lots of fun doing that, using Artex pencils on there. So that is the Flowers and Cute Girls colouring book by Dada Cat. Then moving into my Korean colouring books, starting with Kuma Country's Bear Country colouring book by Chip. This book is so beautiful. I mean, look at that cover. This one has coloured example images at the front rather than on the left, which means that you can copy them, but if you change up colours it's not as directly noticeable. These are extremely detailed pages. Would definitely take some time to do, but they're single-sided, so you could use some alcohol markers for some of these large sections, which is quite nice. Look how insanely detailed that one is. That would take you quite a while to do, but some of them aren't too bad. And I just fell in love with it. Had to get it. No, and then I haven't coloured in it. It's just, again, finding the time. But yeah, not too many pages in that one, only 24. That is the Bear Country colouring book by Chip. Then I have Green Ivy's 4 Seasons colouring book by Green Ivy. And this is another one of those artists where I decided to just get one of their books rather than all 3 that are out right now. Make sure I colour a bunch in here before getting another one. This one I really like because the images are quite simple. It's very relaxing to colour. Again, themed to the 4 seasons, so this is the winter section. Got some really beautiful muted colours, which I don't know if I'd necessarily go for that muted vibe when I colour it myself, but maybe I'll just brighten it up a little bit. Here's the autumn section. I love that pumpkin witch there. And quite a lot of the lines here are coloured, so it helps you with your colouring there. Love that book page. Yeah, this is one that I'd like to colour a few from each season in, because they really don't take too long at all. I did manage to get one done last year. Oh, that one's pretty. And it was this one, Purple Scent, because the background was already coloured for you and I just left it at that. Did a bit of washi tape on the dress with a nice matching colour there. And then polychromos for the main image. And so it was just her hair, this leaf, and all the flowers and the cat to colour. So it's quite an easy one, but really enjoyable. Yeah, really, really beautiful pages here. Gorgeous line work. Looking forward to getting a bunch more done this year. Yeah, it was one of those artists that I admired from afar for a while and thought, yep, okay, now's the time to get it. And this was my favourite of the 3. That's probably my favourite page. I love that one. So that is Green Ivy's 4 Seasons colouring book. Then I have the Garden Lady colouring book by Lana Green. I really love the portraits in here. In fact, it's the second book that I have from an artist that are literally just portraits, the first one being Christine Karen. And I enjoyed colouring Christine Karen so much I thought I'd give Lana Green a go. I think I got this late summer, potentially. And then they're very spring and summery, these pages, so I just didn't get a chance to colour it before the end of the summer season. There you got some themed of fruits and flowers. And they are super pretty. Oh, that would be a fun one for Valentine's with the rose. And you've got this subtle grayscale, which should make the page relatively easy to colour. That is the Garden Lady colouring book by Lana Green. Then I have the colouring book for A Bright Day Together by Stella Park. One of my favourites that I have in my collection. This was on my books to focus on finishing list for last year and I did barely anything in here. It just wasn't picking this book up as much. But I've done this Christmassy page. In fact, that was start of January, so a bit not included for my 2025 complete pages. But I've done this one. That was from the previous year for Christmas. Really struggled with the background, but I tried my best. Tried my best. Yeah, I just love these pages. They are really fun to try and replicate the colour schemes. The way it's been coloured is quite sketchy in nature, so you can really let your pencil texture shine through on these pages, and it looks really lovely. This is my favourite one that I've done, them raking the leaves. I just think it turned out really nicely. I love the colours of the brick wall, of course inspired by the image on the left. So I have done at least one in each of the seasonal sections, because once again, it's a book divided by the 4 seasons. I did this one for summer. This one was really quick and easy. You may look at it and be like, that's a full page, how was that quick and easy? Because all the background was like pre-shaded, it was blue and green, kind of tealy blue. I just went over the top of it with my pencils and kind of intensified it a bit. So the hardest bit was down here, doing all these leaves. That was actually quite challenging. Deceivingly challenging, but yeah, really cute little page there. Good to get one done in the summer section. That was literally right at the end of summer as well. And moving into spring, probably my favourite section. This was the first page I coloured, and I love the colour palette of it. I forgot to say, but I've used polychromos throughout this book. They just work really well on this paper. It's nice and thick, and they just lay down so beautifully and have the sort of nice colours to go for the colour palette that they've given. I do have this whip. One day I'll come back to it, just haven't yet. I really felt drawn to these tiles. I coloured the tiles and some little objects. But this is one of those books where you just need to pick out a bunch of pencils and colour an item by item kind of thing. And I end up jumping around the page a lot. So eventually I'll come back to that. All the pencils I've picked out already I've noted down there. But yeah, that is the colouring book for a Bright Day Together by Stella Park. I'd love to see them do another colouring book like this. Then I have the Desert Fox Warmfall Seasons colouring book by Sugumi, or their name might be Salt, I'm not sure. On Aladdin, sometimes it says Sugumi and sometimes it says Salt. It's a bit confusing. This one goes through the 4 seasons again. Seems to be a big theme with these Asian books. So we've got the winter season at the back here. I have done one page. In fact, this is the only page I have done. The nice Christmassy themed train. Loved colouring this. Used Artex pencils for the train and this red bit and the light beigey bit. And for the trees and mountains and sky and whatnot, I used polychromos. Then added frosted lace stickles on all the snow. Lovely finishing touch there. Yeah, that's everything I've done so far in this book. So plenty more pages to colour, and they are so cute. And again, the way they've coloured it is quite kind of sketchy, liney. So it lends itself well to colouring with pencils. Like you can see in the background, it's very liney. So you can just embrace the texture and it would still look really nice compared to the image. But yeah, these are thick books and a really lovely variety of images in them. I believe they're coming out with another book this year and I am very much looking forward to that. This is one of those artists I wish I'd just picked one and then spent my time colouring in that one before getting another one, but I've got both of them now. And will I probably get the third one? Probably. I make rules for myself and then I break them immediately. And that is the Desert Fox Warmfall Seasons colouring book by Sugumi. Then also by Sugumi, I have the Mysterious Journey colouring book. This is my favourite of the two. It's slightly more detailed, which I prefer. You've got, I'd say, less blank space as I flip to a page that has a lot of blank space on it. But the backgrounds aren't quite as big and overbearing. You've got a few more details to colour, which I definitely prefer. And this one has some kind of random themes. Like this one's kind of all about relaxation and self-care. And then we have the section on jobs and professions, with some very unique jobs here. I mean, some not that unique, like sailor, baker, but you've got star catcher. I love that one with the pandas and the bow buns. That is so cute. Oh, the little duckies. And then we have the travel section, so you've got different countries around the world. Really love that section. So many beautiful pages here. There's even a London page. Here it is. It's very autumnal looking, and gosh, doing those reflections would be quite the challenge. Don't know if I would do that, but I could. And then this front section is all kind of like dessert themed. So this is the one page I have done. You can see mine is a lot brighter than this one. I tried my best to match the colours. I did well with the everything around here, but it was just the water that turned out a lot brighter, but I'm not mad about it. I coloured this on stream actually. It was a lot of fun. And this was using Artex pencils. Yeah, I quite like how the Artex work in this book. They blend nicely on the paper. Yeah, I think this might be my favourite section, the desserts one. So bright and colourful, I love it. Some really creative pages. So that is the Mysterious Journey colouring book by Sagumi. Then I have the Cat and Girl colouring book by Rowan. This, oh my gosh, it's so stunning the way they colour. And even if I just have it as an art book, I would be happy, because look at the way this artist uses colours. So many colours, yet it still looks so cohesive. Like, it doesn't look crazy. I mean, that does look crazy, but it looks just perfect. I love it. And I think it's going to be a real challenge to do one of these full pages for the first time. I did see one in here when I was flipping through it the other day that wasn't too bad and quite wintry. I thought it might be good to start with, like this one. Got a lot of colours in the snow, which is quite fun. But yeah, the back section has these full page illustrations, and then at the front you've got these little individual girls with their cats. So you've got these ones which are like 6 girls together, and then you have the little girls with their cats. So this is probably realistically what I would start with, the ginger one. But yeah, I like how you've got all different coloured cats throughout here, so you can play around with different colour combos. And then the girls are wearing different colours and got different hair colours. It's a lot of fun. They like to play around with colour. Another ginger. I love my ginger cats. So yeah, don't know when I'll start with that one, but that is the Cat and Girl colouring book by Rowan. Then I have a book that I don't often see on people's channels, and this is the Sesame Atelier colouring book by Lee Haiji. I don't know how accurate that translation is, but that's what I call it. And it kind of joins this girl on a journey through a museum. I just really love the art style. I think it's so cute. Lots of pages in here, lots and lots of pages, because you've got mainly full illustrations on the right, but you've also got some little bonus bits on the left as well. And you've got this whole big story going through. I have not translated it all because it is a lot of text. But the pages are just adorable. I have done just the one of the art book store. Really love the colour palette there. I used Black Widow pencils. Yeah, really like how that turned out. And I've got my colours saved there to bring over here eventually. Yeah, lots of cute ones. There's some which are just frames. Don't like those pages, but oh, pretty. Yeah, lots of really cute ones. And again, quite a different colouring book in my collection. And I don't see many others have this book. So yeah, definitely need to colour another page in here soon. At some point this year. Oh, pretty. There's a lot of cats and girls, which I always love. Look at that one. It's called Mona Daichu. Well, kind of like animal Mona Lisa. That's really cute. It does have different sections, and I did translate them. I love that page. Oh, come on. Love that page with the animals. That is stunning. And that one with the stair lift. The stair lift? I've been in care too long with the ski lift, not a stair lift. Oh dear. So that is the Sesame Atelier colouring book by Lee Haiji. Next I've got the Classic Fairy Tales colouring book, and this is by Paperflight. And as the name suggests, you've got all these gorgeous fairy tales in here with coloured examples. This back section is actually a calendar where you can colour a page a month. In fact, that is a goal of mine, to colour all of these for this year. They're quite small in size, so I think it should be a reasonably achievable goal. I've got to do January still. But yeah, this is uncoloured as of yet. It does have a couple of pages per fairy tale, and you've got these different sections. But yeah, I really love the art style, and I love how some of the backgrounds are coloured in. I wish all of the backgrounds were coloured in, to be honest, and I wish more books were like that as well. But it's not on every page, but well, you can see here, it's kind of like your base layer, and then you can go in and intensify the colour a little bit with your own pencil shading. And like here with the forest. So yeah, I do like the fact that you've got a bit of colour. I like how we got this peachy colour background, so you could just leave it at that and that would be a beautiful finishing touch to the page. Just makes the page a lot less intimidating. But yeah, it's like, I wish all of them were like that. Like, where's my night sky here? I've got to colour it myself? What? Yeah, if you're going to do the backgrounds, commit please. Like, yeah, it's nice to have a base colour for that one. Yeah, not all of them do, but a lot of them do. And they also have some like different coloured line work as well. Like the flowers here are red, the leaves are outlined in green. It's just a really beautiful art style. I'd love to see some more books by this illustrator. It's stunning. So that is the Classic Fairy Tales colouring book by Paperflight. Then I have 4 books by this artist, Jeon Son-jin, and they've actually got a few more now. They've got a panda themed one, they've got a spring travel one and a summer travel one, but I'm not allowing myself to get any more until I fill up these 4 that I already have, because they're each themed to a different season. So this is the Spring Sunshine colouring book by Jeon Son-jin, and I love the way they colour their images. They are absolutely adorable. This is the only one I haven't coloured in yet. So bright and vibrant. Each page is themed to a different flower. So you've got a nice variety of flowers here. There's usually lots of different animals scattered throughout. Oh, I love that one with the lambs. I think that's so cute. But yeah, the way they draw little animals, like these little chipmunks there, is so cute. You often see a lot of cats featured, little duckies. Yeah, I find these books quite relaxing to colour as well, because they're so bright and vibrant. You're just copying the colours across, and it doesn't take too long. But that is the Spring Sunshine book by Jeon Son-jin. Then I have the Midsummer Relaxation colouring book, and I have done a page in here. Again, you've got those super bright and vibrant coloured images for you to copy if you want. You don't have to. And I have done a page in this one. Oh, it's just flipping through. I'm like, oh, I want to colour that. I want to colour that. They're very inspiring to flip through. Here is the page I've done of this cute hedgehog page with the little sleeping bear down here. Some lovely bright colours. I tend to use Black Widows in this book because they have a really nice range of colours with the 180. And I actually outlined the clouds here with the language gel pens. I think I did some outlining on the hedgehogs as well. So that turned out really cute. Nice orangey page. I don't tend to use oranges that much, or at least I feel like I don't. For pages like that anyway. Look at that one with the ice creams. So cute. So that is the Midsummer Relaxation book by Jeon Son-jin. Then I have the Cat's Autumn Picnic colouring book. This one, as the name suggests, has a lot of cats in it. I like how on each page each cat is got a slightly different pattern, and they're not drawn in on the page, so you do have to draw it in yourself, but it does mean that you can deviate and do your own patterns if you like. This one is mainly autumn themed, but it does have some kind of summary pages as well. I've started this one. I've just used some Crayola Super Tips to base all of the leaves, and I didn't get time to finish it. I do really love the colour palette there of like the corally, peachy colours, and the cats in the hammock are so cute, and the little chipmunky squirrels, whatever they are. I think they're squirrels. Yeah, I do have one finished page in here. I think it's at the front actually. Oh, I love that one with the rainbow. See, that's quite spring-like, these at the front. So I've done this one of the zinnia flowers. I based this with a lot of Crayola Super Tips, Tombows, like water-based markers, and then shaded on top with black widows. Got a lot of depth in this. I had to add some white to some of these flowers to kind of bring out the lightness of it, because I based it with a slightly dark colour. But yeah, they turned out so cute. I love it. I love this book. I cannot wait to colour more over the years. So that's the Cat's Autumn Picnic colouring book by Jeon Sun-jin. And the final one I have in that series is the Midwinter Sunshine. And as the name suggests, this is the winter themed book, although that's a nice spring page there. They do tend to include some transitional pages at the start and end of the book, and then the big section in the middle is all themed to that season. So at the end you've got flowers welcoming in spring, like that's the different names of the sections, or flowers to announce winter they'll be called. I love that penguin page. I saw someone colour that recently and it looked amazing. But I have done this one of the Christmas roses. I believe that's what it translates to. I've translated them all at the front. Where's the page? Yeah, Christmas rose. So it's a nice Christmas themed page, nice bright colour scheme. I used some washi tape on the chairs there because I had the perfect matching washi tape for it. And black widows for all of the pencil work. So that was a really bright fun one. Yeah, I wanna get another one done here before the winter season's over. Not sure which yet though. How cute, look at those bunnies. The book is just full of cuteness. I absolutely adore it. But yeah, these ones at the front kind of are welcoming in winter. Yeah, the section is flowers that send off autumn and welcome winter. Flowers that add warm colours to winter. Flowers to fully enjoy the romance of midwinter. And a flower that tells the news of a warm spring day. They're very detailed section titles. But that is Midwinter Sunshine by Jeon Sun-jin. Okay, then saving maybe the best till last, we have the Tokimeku series of colouring books. Now I've put these in release order, starting with The Bear in the Wonderful Town. It's the only one that is still untouched for me. I do have a whip started in it, but for 2026 I've decided to have a Tokimeku focus book of the month and try and get at least 2 pages, if not 3, coloured in each of my Tokimeku books every month, and just get some more colour filled up in these because oh my gosh, they are adorable. They're mostly done by all different artists. Oh, I forgot to say, this is The Bear in Wonderful Town by Waka Nakauchi. So this is the whip that I have that I will be finishing in January. Mark my words, you will be seeing this finished. But yeah, I really enjoy colouring all these vegetables using polychromos, and just need to figure out what colour scheme I want to go for the rest of it. Yeah, this one has this little family of bears going through the town and they're kind of preparing for a party. So each of these books does have their own unique story to them and tend to be separated out by different chapters and tend to have little character profiles at the front as well. So that is the first one, Bear and the Wonderful Town by Waka Nakauchi. And next I've got Wild Mouse Yururi's Journey Sketchbook by Makiko Inotome. This is my favourite out of all of them. Has been since the very start. It was one of the first ones I got. This one goes through the seasons and follows this mouse called Eriy as he journeys through the town, meets all these different characters, and has a sketchbook that he brings along the way. So I've done this page of the Christmas invitation. I do need to finish this one up soon for the winter season there, because I have done all but that one of the seasonal title pages. So now we're in autumn. But yeah, you've got these sketchbook pages in here with slightly different line work style as if this is what the mouse has sketched out himself, which I really love. It makes the filler pages just a little bit more interesting to me. I've got the autumn season title page. I've used all polychromos in this book, and then I've done a bit of soft pastel in the background there and gold signo around the border. Most of the pages I've done are in the spring summer section, like these two. Love how they turned out, nice bright colours. And I like using the polychromos in this book. They don't perform the best, but I like the kind of vintagey sketchiness they give. It just works for the art style in my opinion, and for how I like to colour. Done both of these, the summer season title page with the little bumblebee. Don't like how I did this bird, but it's a page done and I'm happy to see it completed. I love that berry double page spread. Done this Easter egg one. Nice pastel colour scheme there. It'd be nice to get that one done, maybe this year for Easter, because I did that one in 2023. I've done this epic double page spread. I feel like a lot of people who own this book have done this double page. It's just such a great, it's a great spread. I really enjoyed colouring it. It did take a long time. There's a whole lot of leaves. But it was really fun, and I am glad that it's done. And we got 2 bumblebees. Lots of bees in here. And then I've done the spring season title page as well. And those are all of the ones I've done in this book. It's the most coloured book I have of the Tokimeku series, which is only, what, 7 pages? Something like that? I don't know. Still not very many. But that is the Wild Mouse Eerie Journey Sketchbook by Makiko Inotome. Then I have the Cat General Store and Magic Key colouring book by Moko. And this one follows this cat called Bicket as he is given the keys for a magical store and has to journey through these doors to find different things. I love the pages of the scenes. I don't really love the ones with the doors like this one, but these scenes more than make up for it. If it was a book filled with these scenes, this book would be so much higher on my rankings. But yeah, I love the magical potions and outdoor scenes. Absolutely adorable. Yeah, the little cat is so cute. Bookshelf, lovely. So this is one page that I have done of the Magic Broom Shop. I used, what are these? I believe Artex. Yeah, reading the pencils, they are Artex pencils, and they work nicely in this book. Just a bit of gold signo on his cape and on the dresser there. Yeah, went for a nice kind of muted colour scheme there. Really like how it turned out. Yeah, looking forward to the month I focus on this. It might be October because it's very magical feeling, this book. And then I've also done this one of the treehouse, and this was using Artex and polychromos because I wanted these nice yellowy toned browns. That was in the polychromo set. And then a soft pastel for the background and gold signo details on the sign. Yeah, that was the first page I did in this book and love how that turned out. So that is the Cat General Store and Magic Key colouring book by Moko. Then I have the Rabbit's Fairy Tale Fantasy picture book by Kotoli. Again, love this one. You've got these adorable little bunny characters throughout, and the sections are vaguely seasonal. They're kind of themed to different magical themes. So this is like Santa's workshop, this section at the back here. I have translated these at the back of the book. And then you have like a witchy section, which is really fun. Really love anything magical. I love that double page spread. It's such an epic one. And then, can't remember what this section is. Is it like kind of coziness? I think there's kind of two summary sections in this book. Yeah, it's kind of sewing embroidery there. Then you've got this underwater kingdom section with lots of mermaids, etc. I have done this one, Secret at the Bottom of the Sea, and I love how this turned out. I love the colour palette. Use polychromos, lots of white paint pen, and some silver signo on the window there, and some metallic watercolours on some of these pearl elements. But yeah, got my colour palette saved there to bring across to that page eventually. I've done the border for this page. I keep having intentions to get this page done and then I never do. So I think I might pick this book for one of the summer seasons to give myself the opportunity to colour this double page. I've done this one, The Flower Dress Tailor. I went for a sunsetty colour palette. I did the main image first, really loved that, and then I was like, what do I do for the background? And I decided to just bring in all the rest of the colours, and it worked out really well. Mainly polychromos. The greens are Prismacolors, and I think I used a few, A for Arteza. I used one Arteza pencil and one Black Widow pencil, some randoms. But used a whole bunch on this page, which I don't tend to do. I tend to stick to one, maybe supplement with another. But yeah, that is the like garden fairy section, probably my favourite in the book. And I love that shelf double page spread, such a good one. That one doesn't actually have a character page. There aren't really characters, they're just bunnies. They're just bunnies, not got names or anything like that. That is the Rabbit's Fairy Tale Fantasy Picture Book by Kotoli. Then I have the Journey Through Fairy Tales with the Little Friends in the Forest. This is by Sayuri Kobayashi. And again, I love this one. This one's fairy tale themed. I have done the character page in this one. So I've got all my colour combos saved there. So you follow these characters. They've got really, really interesting names. They're called Cat, Rabbit, Squirrel, Hedgehog and Little Bird. That was what I translated them to as. But yeah, they're really cute. And they kind of dress up like the fairy tale characters throughout the book. I have not done nearly enough pages in here. There's so many I love. Then there's some like fillery pages, but I do absolutely adore the fairy tale theme. I've got a bit of a pinky bleed through here from using the fixed tip spray on this one, because I use soft pastel for the background, polychromos to colour everything, black glitter gel pen accents, and a black glaze pen. Oh, get away character combos. And a black glaze pen on the ironwork fence. So I love how that turned out, very classically Halloween themed. I don't like either of those pages. But yeah, the ones I love, I absolutely adore, and the ones I don't, I'm just like, eh. Yeah, it's all the ones where they're actually in these fairy tales are absolutely adorable. I've done this one of the enormous turnip, and I used polychromos and Prismacolors for this, and a bronze signo for the border. Kind of dried a bit weirdly here. Sometimes the bronze signo looks very orangey, sometimes it looks a bit silvery. Depends how it dries. I don't really understand it, but that's by the by. But yeah, I really like how this turned out. And eventually I will come back to do this one, maybe when I have this as my focus. Not sure when I will. I'm thinking about doing it for February because I love the fairy tale pages and I want to pick something that I love for my birthday month. But that is everything from the Journey Through Fairy Tales colouring book by Sayuri Kobayashi. Then I have the Residents of Antique Town, Squirrel and the Residents of Antique Town by Mona. And this follows a little squirrel family and all the different residents in the town. It's a very cool, sketchy art style, very, very detailed, the most detailed I think out of all of the Tokimeku books. But oh my gosh, is it stunning. I feel like watercolours would go really well with the art style in this book. But look at the tiny details. I do absolutely love it, but I do find it quite intimidating to pick up and colour. Oh, I do like that little cosy scene for winter time. I don't know if you can hear Lexi meowing at my door, but she's about. Almost made it to the end of the video without her. But here's the page that I've done in this book, The Organic Farm. Used a really muted colour palette here because I think that suited the kind of vintagey style of the line work. Used polychromos for the main image, and I think a Prismacolor for the background, because the Prismas have this really nice like slate blue that I like to use for skies. It's a bit more muted than any of the polychromos pencils that I have. But that is the only one that I've done so far in this book. So plenty more still to go. There's some really cute ones, and I've got the Squirrel family at the front I need to do. So that is the Squirrels and Residents of Antique Town colouring book by Mona. Okay, Lexi's now joined me on my lap. Next up we've got the Polar Bears Adventure Cruise colouring book by Yuki Shiratori. I think this is my second favourite. I just love this one. All of the pages in here are adorable. Sort of this polar bear going on this adventure to all of these different themed islands. Like the final one is got dragons on. You've got an underwater themed island here. What's this one there? You've got the crystal theme and like a Halloween themed island combined into one. So I have done the first Halloween themed page for the Mysterious Island, it's called. I coloured this on a stream and went for a crazy colour palette. I decided to go for crazy coloured pumpkins. It was my final page I coloured in October, and I was just like, let's go crazy. And picked out a fun colour palette from a book. Really like how that one turned out, and used some of the Pentel Dual Hybrid metallic gel pens for the border and the stars in the background there. And then we've got like a mushroom themed island and a jungle theme. So many fun themes. And then this one, this double page spread, which I fell in love with when I first saw the book, and still really loved the finished result of it. It was one of my favourite pages I coloured in 2024. Still definitely remains as a favourite. I think it is absolutely adorable. Nice pastel spring scene. That is it so far for this book. They start off on their journey and they meet different friends along the way. It starts off with the polar bear and the snow rabbit, and they meet the fox, they meet the chipmunk. But yeah, they start off on their own snowy island where they live and then go on the journey. It's just such a beautiful book. Absolutely adore it. So that is Polar Bears Adventure Cruise colouring book by Yuki Shiratori. Then I have the Seasonal Wreaths of Plants and Friends colouring book by Makiko Inotome. Makiko is one of the only artists that have done another colouring book, although this is part of the Kodawari series. So it's the same format as the Tokimeku, like size, but there's a lot less pages in it. It's a lot thinner of a book, which is a shame because I love the pages in this book. You've got these wreaths themed to different flowers that you find on the opposite side of the page, and they're all kind of seasonal. So this is a love letters wreath. Did this one, I think that was the first one I did actually. But yeah, I've got all my colours saved because I want them to match on the opposite page. Oh. Yeah, this is the winter section, and then we have the autumn one. I did this one in autumn of last year. Absolutely love how it turned out with the autumnal leaves and the mushrooms and the peachy colours, and then a bit of, I think it was a bronze signo. Kind of looks rose goldy here, just on the fact of like where it's on the page. But yeah, I've got my colours saved to bring over there eventually. Yeah, I do really love this book. So now we're into summer. I haven't done anything in the summer section yet, so maybe that's when I'll have this as a focus. I don't know if this is one of those books where I just kind of want to do one a season, or at least one a season. I've done this one in the Easter section. I do really want to get this wreath done for this year, for Easter. Yeah, I've got my colours saved here. Used polychromos and I think a few black widows potentially, and I think that's the same for all of them. Polychromos and a couple of black widows here and there. But so far that is everything that I've done in this book. That is a book I'd love to see complete one day, just because I love every page. There's not a page I dislike in that book. So that is Seasonal Wreaths of Plants and Friends by Makiko Inotome. And I have the Midnight Tea Party colouring book with stuffed animals, and this is by Pochi. And look at these cute little stuffed animals, they are adorable. It's got a very whimsical, childlike kind of children's book art style, this book. I really love the art style. It doesn't have too many like full scenes, and those are definitely my favourite. But the theme of this one is that this little boy gets a stuffed animal mouse every year for his birthday. And I think in this story he's just turned 6. This is the only page I've done so far. I used Prismacolors in this book. I thought the bright bold colours would suit the art style well for this one. And I like how that turned out. The little kitty sitting on the post box. Went for a black and white kitty there. Not a ginger one like you, Lex. I'm talking to her because she sat on my lap. But yeah, these animals are adorable. Look at that scene there. Just gorgeous. This is one when I first received it I was a bit disappointed, but it definitely has grown on me over time. There's some really, really lovely pages in here. If we get to the start, yeah, so 6 is the new one, and this is the little boy that receives a new one for his birthday. So I think I'll do them each with different coloured scarves around their necks to distinguish them. So yeah, that is the Midnight Tea Party with Stuffed Animals colouring book by Pochi. Then I have the Rabbits and Nostalgic Japanese Scenery colouring book by Eriy. This is another one from the Code of Eerie series, so it has fewer pages in it. And this was another book I was disappointed when I first received it, and it is my least favourite out of all of these. But the scenes I love, I really do. And the page that I coloured in it, I really do love. I love how this turned out. I love the colour scheme that I used. I really enjoyed colouring all these different bunnies. It was so much fun, so yeah. Definitely changed my opinions of the book after colouring that one. And has me excited to colour a few more of these other scenes. Like, look at that ice cream shop. That one's really fun. Yeah, these individual ones aren't necessarily my favourite, and there's some very kind of like geometric ones that I don't particularly like. But yeah, look at the Halloween and Christmas pages, so fun. And just coming up with different colour schemes for the bunnies is quite enjoyable. Yeah, it's these two mainly that I'm just like, I have no interest in colouring you, thank you. But yeah, that one's cute with the little dumplings. But there we go, that is the Rabbits and Nostalgic Japanese Scenery colouring book by Eriy. And then the final book I have to share with you in this collection video is the Travelling Animal Orchestra colouring book by Nanoha. And this has very quickly become one of my favourites. I think it's in my top 3. I think it's 3rd. The Eerie Mouse one is 1st, the Polar Bear's 2nd, and I think this is 3rd. It may even go up even further as I colour more in this. But this one does go through the seasons, so they do this concert in the autumn, but they're preparing for it in the summer, as we have the section here. So we've got this nice little seaside town, and a really nice variety of animals in this book. Yeah, I fell in love with this instantly. Really, really great book. Here we are in the spring. I love these strawberry field pages. And the first section's in the winter. Look at that snow globe, how beautiful. So here's the only page I've done so far. So far in the book is the Owl Cafe. I use Polychromos Polychromos pencils for the entire page, and really love the colour scheme of this. I'm really pleased with the results of that. And I'm hoping to colour this page in February and use some vaguely matching colours, not exactly matching but yeah, I'll use the same wood tones and same colours for the sign as I did there. But look at the little duckies crossing the road, it's so cute. But yeah, some nice little wintry ones at the front here, and I like that little title page as well. So that is the Travelling Animal Orchestra colouring book by Nanoha, and all of the Asian books that I have in my collection. Yeah, quite a big collection here. I've got a lot of them because they are just all such stunning books. Oh, and Lexi has just left my lap. She knows it's the end of the video, so she's off. But do let me know in the comments below which of the books I shared are some of your favourites. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye everyone!